So Sly, I know you're big into the sports game, big into the what's happening in life game. I mean, I know you're always following everything going on. Um, Yesterday was very interesting. Did I watch the game? No, because I think it's stupid. I don't have any interest in college basketball, unless it's like Creighton or the tournament. I just don't have I don't have that interest like I do college football. But I did see the end of the Michigan Wisconsin scuffle. Juwan Howard, coach for the Michigan Wolverines, and then the head coach, which I don't know if this is a good thing, have no idea who he is for Wisconsin. Supposedly, Wisconsin calls a timeout that offends Juwan Howard, right? And Juwan Howard gets mad.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Wisconsin coach gets tries to stop him, be like, hey, I'm sorry, whatever. And Juwan's like, I'm going to remember that. Well, he said a few other words, but he said, I'm going to remember that is kind of the gist, right? Well, then the assistant coaches for Wisconsin come over, are arguing. They're starting to, it's the handshake line that's now starting to become like a mosh pit. And Juwan Howard, me personally, wish I would have seen the fist for a punch, but he open hand dominates an assistant coach for Wisconsin. And I mean, yes, is it what he should be doing? No. Is he going to get fired? I don't know. Is there going to be discipline? Sure. But this kind of got me thinking. Coaches fighting. Hold on
a second.
Well, I was really excited to ask you a question.
Okay. I want to hear it. I want
to hear your thought first.
Yeah, I'm just saying, how the fuck would a timeout get a coach to the point of like, I'm going to now physically assault another coach? He called a timeout. They have timeouts for a reason, to be called. He's not breaking any rules.
I think Michigan was getting beat, and I think Juwan Howard's probably really competitive, and he just didn't like it in that moment, and I think it just set him off.
Hey, Scott, remember
nobody
though,
likes getting beat, but it's
better.
Also part of the game.
You don't get beat.
Yeah.
Solve that problem.
Guess what? There's 40 minutes in a basketball game. If there's 3 minutes left, 2 minutes left, a minute left, if there's 5 seconds left, Wisconsin coach has every right to call a timeout and grab it in if he wanted to.
You know, so this
baby.
goes right in line with this. I was coaching this weekend. My second son.
Don't tell me you punched someone.
No,
assistant coach on the other.
I wanted to really bad. I wanted to punch one of the players on the other team. he was 9. But
fair.
Yeah, but I didn't because I have restraint.
Right. He did that 9-year-old call a timeout.
No, they so my second son was in a tournament, and it's a single elimination tournament, which I thought was weird for kids of that age to have a single elimination tournament. But my kid ended up losing by one point in their first game, so they're eliminated. And it was tough because they kept getting steals and going down, missing the shot. Then the other team would get the ball back. Then they cross half court, we'd steal the ball, go down, throw up another brick. And we had all these opportunities and we just couldn't do it. And then we get down to there being 5 seconds left in the game. And the rules at this age is you can't full court press. So all our kids had to wait at the half court line, and the other team threw it in and they just started walking around. And then time expired and we couldn't go do anything. And after the game, my son's like, why is that rule even there? Like, why can't we go get the ball and go try to win the game? I said, well, buddy, those are the rules of your age. You can't full court press. So they knew that they had a certain amount of time before they had to cross half court.
So they were scumbags.
Right. So it was a douchey move. But I said, it doesn't matter. You guys lost. They weren't breaking the rules. They followed the rules.
That is true.
And you guys followed the rules, but by not going and trying to steal the ball on their side. And I said, I know it sucks, but it's how it goes. And you guys didn't play good enough to win. So It is what it is. And you guys played really good. You fought hard, but you needed to make more shots, and that didn't happen. And losses are supposed to hurt. Okay. But you don't blame the rule. You just do better next time. And that's it.
Yeah, I actually, that's true. Like, did you feel like it was a little like stupid? Sure.
Yeah.
But
I
like
thought it was
that's
douchey.
but it's part of the rules.
Yeah. Part of the
And
game.
and the thing is too, the Wisconsin head coach, that's part of the rules. He had timeouts left.
Isn't taking a knee in football super douchey? Yeah, it is.
It kind of
But
is. If you think about it, it really is. It's like,
super douchey.
that's like pouring salt in the wound.
Right. Like, we're going to choose to lose a couple yards here.
And we're gonna purposely not try on this play
Mm-hmm.
because we've beat you all game, and watch this in front of the world. We're not gonna try.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the douchiest of moves, but it's part of the game, and everybody knows it's part of the game.
But no one's throwing a punch after that.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure it has happened, but it shouldn't happen because it's part of the freaking game. So Juwan Howard, I don't know who you are. I don't follow basketball. I don't know your
who you
history
are.
or your pedigree in the game of basketball, but I just know from my point of view, my pedigree in basketball is probably better than yours, being a 9-year-old basketball coach, because I have more respect for the game than you do, apparently. So why don't you work on that? And then maybe you can be a serious coach in basketball.
Right. Yeah.
He was just a little bad. I mean, I don't know all of Juwan Howard's like background, but he was part of the best freshman class ever in the history of basketball, the Fab Five, with Chris Webber and Jalen Rose.
Jim Jackson.
Yep, there you go, man.
I think it was Jim Jackson.
The best recruiting class of all time, but that's okay. And then he went on to play in the NBA, and I think he played at Miami, got a couple rings, then he coached at Miami, and then he went to Michigan.
But the thing is, see, you'd think that
so he should.
He's known as
exactly.
So I think the thing is he's known as like a really elite leader, like that. That's what he's known for.
Yeah. That's what I get out of that video is
yeah,
he's an elite leader of men.
Yeah, that's fair.
God. All right, you were gonna ask me something, Woody, before I had to give my.
Yeah, I just wanted to know if there's ever a time that you saw a coach maybe not punch the other team or get in a fist fight with the other team, but maybe someone on your team. I remember hearing about stories of Darrell Revis and someone else, one of the coaches.
One of our
but I wasn't there.
Strength coaches.
I wasn't there
either.
I wish I was. That would have been awesome. But did you ever have an experience with one of your teammates getting hit by a coach or bowed up by a coach?
Yeah, well, I've been in some
shocker.
Been part of a kerfuffle.
Shocker.
The Rivas deal, that was the year before I got into
I should have just asked the question, hey Slaw, have you ever experienced anything like that?
Yeah. So listen, I should give this Juwan Howard a little bit of a pass because look, in sports, emotions run high a lot. It happens.
But should you?
But when you're a coach, you're a leader of men, leader of young men, and it doesn't matter if you're coaching, D1 college basketball or you're coaching 9-year-old kids. Your first and foremost job is to guide these young men. And when you pull some shit like that, like you're not accomplishing your primary goal as a coach, just in general. Anyway, but as a player though, obviously emotions run super high, and in football you're constantly being judged, and you feel it every second of every day. The eyes are always watching, and it's such like a macho, testosterone infused environment that nobody likes being like put down publicly in front of their team, in front of the guys that, for lack of a better term, you feel like you're going to war with. And, a few weeks ago, we talked about some of my struggles at the Jets in relating to the general manager, Mike Tannenbaum. Yep. Good luck to him. So when I was going through those struggles and they were messing around with my pay, when I decided to stay, I don't know if I got into this part. I don't think I did.
No, you didn't.
When I decided to stay at the Jets, that was a difficult move for me. So I took the pay cut and I stayed, and I told him, I said, okay, this is the deal. If I take this pay cut, this stupid bullshit competition that you keep conjuring up every year, this is over. I am the left guard. It's not going to be any of this BS where, this other guy, Vlad, I love Vlad. Awesome dude. Said when he comes in for me, cause he needs to get his reps, fine. But I don't go play with the threes then, because our all pro left tackle, he doesn't go play with the threes. Our all pro center doesn't go play with the threes. Like, what the fuck? The message that sends to the team, I'm not doing that. If I'm the guy, then I'm the guy. And he said, yeah, great. Well, he relayed that message to the offensive line coach. That offensive line coach, after Bill Callahan left, was Pacifico Dave DeGuglielmo. And yeah, ridiculous name, right?
Yeah, it's a terrible name, but I just know him as Gooch.
Yep. So when he caught word of my demands, he lost his shit on me very publicly. And at the time, like I alluded to last time we talked about this, is before that, I was just a happy-go-lucky kid, just like, yeah, you want to walk all over me? I don't care, because I'm in the league and this is incredible. And if I wasn't in the league, I'd probably be driving a semi truck or well, actually, I'd probably be a cop and loving it. But anyway, so I was just so pumped every day. And on that day, it all changed. And the older guys would ask me before that. They said, hey, Slaw, do you still love it? I say, yep. I say, okay, good. That'll change, but good. And I didn't know what they meant. I'm like, we're playing a fucking sport here for our jobs. Like, this is incredible. How could I not love this? I'm getting paid to come in and work out, sit in meetings and learn about football and study football, and then go out and play football, and then go take care of my body to get myself ready for the next day to go do it all over again. Like, this is absolutely incredible. And that day when that coach came and berated me in front of the entire team, I mean, he said some pretty nasty, fucked up things. He didn't fully understand the situation that I was coming from because of what had been happening to me for the past 3 years before that at the Jets. So he had just gotten there, and his perspective was everybody on the offensive line is the same. There's no starters. There's no second team. There's no practice squad. Everybody's
clearly was.
Well, yeah, but that was sort of his thing. Like, guys, yes, obviously you got the starting five, but at any second, a starter could go out. He could bang a knee. He could break a shoelace. He could whatever. He can have a fucked up helmet. He would always use the shoelace deal because he never wanted to like put the thought of an injury out there into the universe.
Yeah.
So he would always say, guys, there are no starters here because Nick Mangold, God forbid, he breaks a fucking shoelace and he needs to come out. Then, Rob, you would come in and you need to be able to work with these guys the same way Nick works with them and they work with Nick. So everybody needs to know everybody. I understood his philosophy, but he also wasn't understanding what my situation was. And so when he rained down hellfire upon me, was hard for me to take because it's like the shit that I've done for this organization. And now my coach is publicly embarrassing me for just saying, if I'm the guy, then I'm the fucking guy. Okay. Just, and then I got guys that I really respect a whole hell of a lot in that game, and our left tackle and our center and our right guard and our right tackle coming up to me going, Slaw, I don't know what that's about, but that's seriously fucked up. I mean, you are the one guy on this team that they shouldn't be fucking with, and they are, and they continue to, and you just agreed to a deal to get them to stop, and now they're still doing it. And that just started getting me heated. And my son, we at that time we only had the one son, but my wife was pregnant with our second son. And you know, you think about parenting a lot, and so right then something snapped in me, because I said, it someday, like, I'm gonna have to tell my kid, like, you got to bow up in life. You gotta stand up for yourself. You gotta be, you know, whatever your beliefs are, you have to be fully committed to them. And you can't let life walk all over you, because then it will continually walk all over you. And if I sit here and just let this continually happen, how can I say that to him? I'd be a hypocrite. So I need to fix that. And so I just grabbed all my shit and I went out on the field. I knew exactly where the offensive line coach would be, like he is every morning at the start of training camp practice, right? Standing in the middle of the field. And at Jets training camp in upstate New York, they don't have like admission. They just let anybody come to practice. It's at a university up there where the fields are just open. So there's just thousands of fans surrounding the fields. And that coach was right where I thought he was going to be. And I'm out there, like, I had my football pants on, my cleats on, I'm holding my shoulder pads and my helmet, one in each hand. And as soon as I hit the field, I get into an all-out sprint. And in my mind, I'm going, okay, I'm going to drop my shit and go, I'm either going to tackle him, or I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's going to get aggressive right here. And a lot of people are going to see it. And this is it. This is the end of my NFL career. That's where I was in my mind. Like, okay.
And you were okay with it, though.
I was
like,
okay
right.
with it.
Yep.
Because in my fucked up overreaction, it was, I'm doing this for my kids, which is fucking ridiculous. Stupid.
But guess what? You did, and it kind of worked out.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
So I'm thinking, like, okay, I'm
So
gonna
wait,
drop,
hey,
I'm gonna
before
drop
anything
my
else
shit here on the
happens,
sideline. Yeah.
who's Juwan? Googe? Is he Juwan Howard? And you?
No, I guess I'm playing the part of Juwan, but I'm not a coach, so
it can't be Juwan.
So I'm giving myself a pass, because look, coaches.
If I'm an athletic director right now, after Juwan gets fired, I'm hiring him, because if he's Slauson, then I'm hiring him. But go ahead, you're running.
Yeah,
go back to running.
Look, what Coach Googe did, I understand why he did it. How he did it really pissed me off.
Yes, just you're in mid sprint. Sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah. Mid sprint, I go to drop my shit, and I didn't drop my helmet. I don't know why, but I didn't. And I dropped my shoulder pads, and I'm full on trucking it straight at him. And he sees me coming now, and he sees my demeanor, and then I'm holding my helmet. And he starts yelling from across the field. He's like, "Whoa, Slauson, whoa, settle down. Like he's trying to settle down like a rhinoceros. That's on a full on speed. Yeah, full on speed. I'm running like a 7-second 40 here, like just full on ripping it. And I get about 10 yards away and give a double crow hop with my helmet right at his head. And he freaking ducks, and that helmet just goes whizzing right over his head. And he's like, "Slaw, you got to settle the fuck down." I said, "No, you listen to me, you fat fuck. You want to fuck with me? You want to fuck with me and my family? I'll tell you what I'm going to do." And I'm not going to say what I told him after that.
Yes, I don't want you to, because I know what you said. That's a part I do know.
I'm not going to say that on the air, but it was aggressive. There was
think of about as mean of a thing as you could say. That's what Slaw said.
Imagine if, let's just say, hypothetical, if I was to threaten somebody, what is the worst possible threat you could possibly threaten to somebody?
That's what it was.
That's what it was. That's hypothetically what it was.
Yeah.
And then
We might have some weirdos listening to this, so I don't, maybe not quite what you guys do or would think, but
for the next week of training camp, Coach Googe was not coaching me very much, and he was not coaching anybody very much. He was just sitting in the corner,
not wanting to get
kind of reevaluating. And then him and I had a discussion after about a week, and him and I actually became really, really close. And he was my offensive line coach at numerous other stops in my career. And I think that was by design. Either he was trying to keep me close so he knew where I was at all times, or at that moment, we just came to an understanding. But whatever it was, him and I became really tight, and we still are.
Moral of the story, I feel like Juwan Howard and the Wisconsin head coach might be besties here pretty soon.
I mean, if they handle it right, they should.
Yeah,
I don't
if
see
one threatens the other like super aggressively, there's a great chance for a great friendship.
Yeah, I don't see this Juwan guy handling it like that. But
could you imagine, like, every day, like the Jets have this plan, like, all right, we're gonna do this, and then they had to incorporate, what are we gonna do that Slauson doesn't hit one of us today? Like, they had to add that to their daily plan. Yeah. They had to do, there was a strategy to handle Matt Slauson, right? Like, what would that look like?
Well, that was the crazy thing.
Don't say any mean words.
Like we were talking a few weeks ago, talking about this situation, about how on that day when I broke a little bit, obviously, you know, I snapped and then I came around and was like, okay, well, that was ridiculous and unreasonable, but it's over and it's done.
Kind of helped
and now I'm trying to be my normal self again. And I'm seeing a dramatic shift at an organizational level of people are going, Mr. Slauson, how you doing today? I'm like, wait, what? What the fuck's going on around here?
Why are people calling me Mr. Slauson?
Yeah. Like, that's what people call my dad, and he fucking sucks. Yeah, but people are like treating me with respect now. And I'm like, holy crap, this is who I have to be?
Put a little respect on my name.
Yeah, here we go. Respect on it.
Yeah. Hey, that's the moral of I get what Juwan's doing now.
Yeah.
Makes more sense. At first I was a little bit mad. Now I think he's a savage. I'm hiring him if I'm a or if I'm an athletic director or an NBA exec anywhere. I'm hiring Juwan Howard because he's ready to come to like he's ready.
You know what's pretty sweet, though?
Coach Slauson out there.
Even though I don't condone anything about this Juwan Howard guy, still barely know who he is. But I will say, to his credit, even though he's a fucking douchebag and can't handle his shit, when he started that brawl, his team was in there. The players were in there ready to brawl. So, I mean, at least he's got his guys with him.
He does. I love that. Good discussion. Right. Good life lesson right there from Matt Slauson.
Handle your shit. There we go.
Hey,
happy Monday.
Dallin.
Make your kids proud. Happy Monday.
Dallin, there's a lot of tags to do on the Mediaverse. University of Michigan, Juwan Howard, ESPN,
Big Ten.
Big Ten.
Anyone that went to Michigan.
Jets.
Yeah, Jets. Yeah, fucking Royal Tannenbaums. I mean, come on. Googe doesn't have social media. I don't even think he has a smartphone.
That's fair.
He might not even have a cell phone. He might just have a landline.
No. Googe and I talk a lot still.
Over the landline?
Yeah. I always thought his voice just sounds crystal clear.
All right. Woodrow's wisdom?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is actually a question from Yo or a question from that he asked on the Twitterverse, but it's a good one. And the question is, how do you deal with negativity, whether it's negative people or a negative environment? How do you confront negativity? And how do you try to fix it?
Yeah, that's kind of a loaded one. I mean, a lot in there. Let's start with, what was the initial? How do I deal with a negative environment?
How do you deal with negativity in general?
Yeah.
Or you could say in an environment.
Yeah, I would say, how do I deal with it? I would say, if you look at my whole career, there wasn't a lot of positives about me. There just wasn't. I'm saying, with college coaches, scouts, with professional coaches, all the above. So when I dealt with that, because it was always like, you're too small, you're too this, you're too that. So negative situations or negative environments, what I tried to do was focus on what I was supposed to do. And then I shut it out. I literally just didn't listen to any of it. I had no interest in them trying to say I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. So just like negativity, I just didn't address. I wouldn't address it. I just wouldn't deal with it, because I felt like they were a bunch of liars. And so my whole thing was, I'm going to control what, I mean, that's a quick answer to that first question. I was going to control what I was going to control. And that was, I can do everything.
Is that something you had to learn, or is it something you just had?
I mean, I think that's something I was born with a little bit.
Because I'm in the same boat, but it's definitely something I had to learn. It was not something that I was gifted with.
So I mean, I hope this comes across not terribly. I've never really had a problem with worrying about what people think of me. Like, that's just never, I just don't care. Like, if you don't like me, that's okay. Like, we can move on, right? Like, I'm not going to try to convince you.
You know what? Let me go in there a little bit. Like, is that your competitive nature? Like, if someone's coming at you, you're like, I'm going to crush you. So you redirect. So you take that negative and you already redirect and go, I'm going to make you look like a moron. Right? So, is that what you do?
Yeah. And I'm not going to name any names. Slauson knows. My first stop in the NFL, the New York Jets.
Here's another tag.
And this, actually, I would say, so you can tag even more. Before that, though, it was the University of Nebraska. I wanted to do everything I could, not because I hated them as people, but I think it was just like the competitive nature. I wanted Nebraska. I really, really, really wanted them to look like absolute morons, as you kind of said, and as I've said in the past. I haven't said about that, but I wanted that staff or any of those coaches to not look great. And it was easier because I went to school in Nebraska, right? A small college in Nebraska. So like, that was going to be known. I went to Shattern State, and if I had a decent career, a pretty solid career, it was going to be talked about. And fortunately, I had a pretty solid career in college, and probably even like more than any expectation I ever had. And end up running for close to 8,000 yards, had over 100 touchdowns. So that is going to get talked about. So like, it was my goal just to be like, all right, let's make them look really stupid. And yeah, so I guess it is my competitive nature, but like, so negativity, it's like I turned it into, I don't know, just trying to make the person that's negative towards me look ridiculous. That was kind of my deal. And then you said, what was
so that's individually I would look at. I don't like, yes. What if, and if you've probably been on a team that just wasn't very positive, yeah. Like that's a different way to digest that. Cause you can't beat your whole team.
Yeah. I think the thing is, you as a player, you still have to control what you can control. And then I think after that, being a leader of the team, you have to try to get as many as many people, almost like you need as many people rowing in the same direction as you, not to steal a PJ Fleck quote, but like you really do need that, because if you don't have everyone else, this may not be negative, but like San Diego, for instance, not a lot of accountability, right? Yeah. So what you did is you try, and Slaw knows this, you try to get as many people as you can going in the same direction. Because if you can get if you can get most of them, which it was hard in San Diego, but if you can get a bunch of people doing that, you can win a lot of football games. Now, if the hierarchy or whatever, they may not endorse what you're doing, then it's just going to be hard. It is, but you can control your performance and hopefully bring some people along with you.
You know, negativity and positivity are both extremely powerful things, you know, to kind of steal from DC Comics, the Green Lantern. You know, he was powered by the color green, which I guess is hope. And then the color yellow.
Isn't green also like, if you like green, that means you're kind of horny?
I thought it was genius.
I don't know.
know.
Go ahead. Anyways.
Yeah. But green was hope.
Horny.
It is horny, isn't it?
Yes.
I was just gonna. So the Green Lantern's a super horny,
hopeful guy. He's just trying to bang. Yeah. So but he could be defeated by the color yellow, which is fear. But both of those very, very powerful things. So to kind of talk about the football side of things, San Diego was a pretty positive place. There wasn't a whole lot of negativity going on.
There wasn't a ton of negativity, but
it wasn't productive.
But there was negativity in the performance.
Whereas you look at New England, and I never played for New England. You did, but New England, from what I understand, is about a negative of an environment, but they're productive with it.
And the thing is, if it's negative, it's people. How do I want to say it? Sure, there can be some negativity you see in it, but it also depends on if you're a competitor or not. Because if you're a competitor, then you're not like seen as negative.
Well, I think that can be
the people that are weak.
The next part of this, it is turning negativity into something positive.
Or it's. But I'm saying, like, there can be negatives if like you have the mindset of you're not trying to get better.
Mm-hmm.
I see. Yes, it was a positive place in San Diego-ish, but like I saw it also as a negative because it's like we're not trying to win. You know what I mean? So I see that as negativity. So it's kind of just the way you look at it.
Right.
Plenty of people see New England as super negative because they keep you accountable. But also that means you're maybe someone that doesn't really have what it takes or want to win, or you don't want to do everything possible. So it is kind of a weird, it depends on you as a person too. Because there's also me too, which is kind of random. I don't know if this is even a question, that you had, but myself, I had to be careful who I was around with it, because I mean, at the end of the day, especially later on in my career, I think people followed some of the stuff I did, right? I think people viewed me as a leader, but I was one of the most negative human beings at work because that's what fueled me.
Yes.
So like, even like I was one of the most self-deprecating people in the world. Like I would self-deprecate anything, like, oh, I suck, I'm terrible. But I'd say that in front of other people, like even like defensive players, because this sounds kind of weird and twisted and but this is maybe why I was what I was too, is I also was so cool with them thinking I actually thought I sucked, because then I felt like I got an edge on them, even though it's like I would go in and say these things, and I don't want to say implant them in their ears, but for them to think like, oh, he doesn't got it today. But then I'd go out and just wreck them on routes, because it was almost like a little reverse side. Like I would say certain things to make people think that I thought I sucked, when very weirdly, I was as confident, like in not an arrogant way, but like I was as confident of a player as I know. Like I never thought anyone could beat me. Like I thought, you go ahead, put a cornerback on me, I'm gonna beat him. But I would play the game that I wasn't very confident. Let people rest in that. Be like, oh, okay, he's not great. It's a weird deal. Weird deal.
I think a lot of people, when it comes to negativity, because negativity is such a buzzword today, that they're just trying to get all negativity out and stay away from it all. Negativity isn't the problem. I think it's what you said. It's how you deal with it, how you use it. Do you work in negativity productively? So for me, I was like you. At work, I was a negative son of a bitch, but that all began from that story long ago at the Jets.
Yeah.
Where I realized that's how I had to be successful. But constant negativity in your life is a dangerous thing. And so like now, as a parent, as a husband, that is unacceptable in our house.
Well,
Yes,
yeah.
Negativity is going to happen. Negativity is going to happen. But you need to get out of it very fast, because I want my kids growing up in a positive environment. I want our marriage to be a positive environment. But when negativity strikes, how do you use it, and how do you deal with it to be productive in whatever you're doing?
It's kind of funny that you say that, and I'm like thinking back, because anyone that I'm around, it's kind of random, but they think I'm like one of the most positive people. And then I look back to my career, and I was so negative. But I wonder too if part of it, just like thinking back, was I was so successful in negativity. Like when people passed up on me in college, when people said I was too small. So maybe it was just like a comfort zone in performance, where it's like, I'm going to be negative because I'm going to beat it. And that might be why I continued to be like that, because like with my family, with everything else, I'm super positive. I'm weirdly probably more positive than maybe I should be, like I have my outlook on life is fairly positive. But it's funny because when I think of sports, like I don't know a time I wasn't negative. And maybe when I was young, but like I don't I don't know when I wasn't. And I think too, I would also not set the bar. It's not that I was setting the bar so low. My parents taught me like humility is the best tool, right? Like everyone before yourself. And then sometimes maybe as I got into it was like, oh, I'm just going to act like I'm not great, even though I believed I was great. And I don't know why, but it's weird. Any thoughts on that, Scott? Like thinking, it's funny because I'm thinking of my whole career, and I use negativity, and I didn't really think about it until you kind of mentioned it, but it just fueled me. So then maybe I was just negative even once it was in the league. It's kind of weird.
Well, I would be more interested in, where did you gain all your confidence? Because you're obviously, I think that's where you discover the other part. So why do you think you were so confident all the time? Like you said, no one could beat me. I'd like to understand that, because that's super positive. Like you're telling yourselves, I'm going to crush anybody that comes in front of me, which is the positive self-talk, right? Like that's going on internally, but externally you're letting everybody know like, yeah, I'm not that great. I could do better. So that's what I would want to understand, is the confidence.
So I think number one, I mean, Matt can say the same thing. Like I was gifted with a body and talents and skills like things athletically have came. It's so simple for me. Like that's just never been hard. Basketball, I was always just ahead of everyone. Soccer, I was just ahead of everyone because I was gifted with these skills that most people probably aren't, right? And then also, I think I'd probably attribute to my upbringing is that you have to work hard for everything you got. And so I knew I was trying to be careful how I say it, but I knew I was better than anyone else, kind of athletically. Like some people thought, like, man, he just really worked hard and he was just knew the offense. Sure, but like I felt like I was gifted with something kind of rare. Like not a lot of guys run like, and this is not me, but like not a lot of guys running the 4.3s. That's just not a real common thing, right? Especially, I mean, not a ton at running back either. So like, that's something we have to think about too. Like I was given skills that were like, I'm very, very fortunate. Like, not that I'm great at golf, but I've been able to play decently. Yes, I work hard, but God gave me talents with my hand-eye coordination, with athletics. So like I have a lot of confidence in my skills. And then it's like once you do that hard work, all this paying the price of practicing and doing all these things, then you're more confident because it's like, I'm prepared. So you have the skill set and then you have the preparation part and the hard work part. Once you're going out to do things, like I'm ready. Like no one's going to be able to cover me. No one's going to be able to do this. And I'm trying to say that in a very, not think I'm the greatest.
No. You did everything. Like you knew you had the physical, like
yeah.
that wasn't even, you never questioned yourself on that.
No.
And you just did like you literally worked, you did every song. Like you did everything. You worked hard at everything.
Yes.
You didn't give up. You didn't cheat a workout. You didn't cheat a recovery. Like you worked hard. So then you're like, I've literally done everything. Yeah, and so like, I have great skills.
So if I have better skills than the person across from me, and I've worked as hard or harder than him, I'm going to win. Like it's pretty easy to be confident. You know what I'm saying? Like, because of the tools I was given, and then obviously the preparation and the hard work that God instilled in me too, like, because that's part of my personality, my competitive nature. Like, it's almost like I don't know what to say. Like, if I'm prepared and I've done everything and I have the talent or like the skills that probably are better than the person across from me, like I got a pretty good chance.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, for all you listening out there and all the people that contact each of us and always wanting to know the secret sauce to like being great, like it's right. Danny just laid it out. There's no friggin' hack. Like, what are your skills? And are you going to outwork everyone? Like there's no hacks.
Well, think about that. Not everyone's football, but everybody
has a skill set of some kind.
Well, and
they do.
I believe everyone has a superior skill too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or not but like something there's
highly one thing
skilled in.
Like if everybody sat there and thought, what do people come to me for? That's the skill. Like whatever that might be.
Well, and then you obviously know that you have it. So it's like, it's just kind of knowing what your giftings are or your talents or your skills, just whatever. And then use them. Like mine was, I knew what they were and I was very confident in them. And I knew that God gave me those skills to do the work that I was supposed to do. And then after that, it's like, well, like water them a little. It's like a plant, right? You water your skills and it's going to grow, and you're going to become very good at them. And like, that's the thing, is you are going to be, you're going to, if you know what it is and you're watering it, you're going to get better, and you're going to be prepared, because you're just going to keep growing and keep growing and get better and get better. I mean, say you have a plant, or say you have a plant or whatever, and you don't water it. So you don't work hard. You don't, you're not prepared. You're not going to really be very strong. So it's kind of knowing what your skill set is, and I don't know, working.
Caring about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
caring.
I think the confidence thing comes in if you can look at yourself in the mirror and go, did I do everything I could? You know that answer inside. And I think if you're like, yeah, I kind of cheated that, then your confidence isn't going to be as great as the way, as great as it should be.
Yeah. I don't know. That's kind of what I have for it. And what, like, I think one of the last questions is like, the last question is, what can you do to fix it? Man, you can only do so much if you're not like the captain of the ship, right? You can only do so much. So what I try to do is I just try to be positive. And even like at times when I was at a place that wasn't as good, like I just tried to be, even though I was negative within stuff with myself, I tried to be a light. I tried to be positive. I tried to bring the people around me up. And I mean, in the workforce or in whatever it may be, I don't know, maybe say hi to someone, make them feel important, make them feel seen. Because if you feel seen and you're someone that hasn't felt seen, then you're not going to be as negative. If you haven't felt seen, you haven't felt appreciated, there's going to be some negativity in your head. There's also going to be some like self-confidence issues. But if people start pouring into you and start seeing who you are and seeing what you do, that person that was negative actually becomes positive. And then there's a domino effect. Even if the top isn't like super positive, if you can be a small like light or glimmer of hope, you can maybe turn one of those negatives into positives. Oh, and then next thing you know, that person that made them positive, they're like, man, that sucked really bad. Maybe I can actually be kind of positive to someone. Oh, and then it's almost like a domino effect. It takes a little bit of time, but if you start doing that, then everyone will start being like, oh wait, like it sucked really bad being super negative, and to the point of like, this is like a really depressive job and whatever. Maybe I should try the other thing, and that's being positive, because that impacted my life and now it impacted my work. And then it's just kind of a slow transition. And next thing you know, if everyone's positive, it's going to be hard for the leader, the captain of the ship, to not be somewhat positive. If you have a ton of positive people around you.
Positivity is contagious. Calm is contagious, right? Negative is contagious.
Yeah.
100%. And to kind of lay out something on even a little bit of a smaller scale, it's just also having personal pride, personal professionalism. You could be in any job, and it's a job you don't like. It's something that you're not necessarily, passionate about, or maybe you're working for a place that is failing. It is unproductive for you to just go punch a clock and just exist in that negativity and not do anything about it, even if you are at the bottom. I have members of my family that are kind of in a difficult spot job wise, and they're always talking about the negativity surrounding it, and man, this isn't fair. It's run by idiots. They're doing this, they're doing that. And I tell them, I said, bro, like, you can't fall into that trap. You can't. All you can do is do your best, be a major pro in whatever you were doing. And if things don't change, well, okay, well, that company's going to fail. But if you went in there and kicked ass every day, there are connections in this world. Somebody at the top is connected to somebody else at another job. And if you were doing nothing but kicking ass every day, even though you're part of a cancerous atmosphere and a failing atmosphere, when that time comes, when you move on, well, maybe that dude at the top puts in a word for you, and now you're going on to the absolute best situation that ever could have happened to you. And that would have never happened if you fell into the trap and just got involved with the negativity. So just, I've been saying it since we started the pod, life is a competition. Just do better, be better. You can do that. You can just still dominate life in your small little pond.
Small little pond.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Hey, be positive, don't be negative. Maybe find what you're good at, right? Or know what you're good at. If you want to be confident, even if it's and if you're not great at something, work at it and you will become good at it. And I don't know.
Yeah, that's not that you just have to spend time with yourself.
Not like that though. Scott, I don't know. Oh, okay. Now fair enough, Scott. I was trying to redirect if I didn't know where your mind was. What are we, 13? Holy crap. All right, moving on. Let's go to Slauson story time or something.
All
You
right,
want to do
kids.
there we go.
All right, kids. You know what time it is. Get the book.
Gather round, children.
That fucking book. I'm tired. Somebody
Get over here, Gabe. Can't believe your parents named you that, but get over here.
Yeah, Gabe. Gabe, get that book. That book is titled, it's actually in my notes right here, Golf Story with the Old Fucks. Okay.
Children, and just in case you're playing with older people on the golf course, this is how to address them.
Yeah. So Tuesday, we got a break in the weather. Nice day.
Beautiful, right?
Went out with some buddies. Mind you, people, this is all we're trying to do with this pod is just make the world a better place.
And that's what you're about to do right now.
Yeah. In Woodrow's wisdom, he's very much trying to help lead people and guide people in their lives and relationships and careers and families. I try to do the same thing, just in a little bit of a different way.
We're all
just
different.
to share my experiences and show you that what I do is usually the best way to handle things. But if you want to go about a different way, that's okay, as long as you're accomplishing something. So on this day, on Tuesday, I accomplished something. I made the world a better place.
That you did.
When I tell this story to my wife, she disagrees, but to each their own.
But she's not into stories.
Yeah. So what happened was Tuesday, I go out golfing with some buddies, and one of the guys is a former teammate of mine, and he joined Firethorn. It's the golf course that I'm a member at, and he hadn't been there in a while. He got married and got pregnant really fast. So his life is, well, he didn't get pregnant. His wife did.
Well, I was going to say, holy crap.
Yeah.
What they're saying is true. I thought it was a joke.
So,
guys are getting pregnant.
So he hasn't played there in 4 or 5 months or so.
Clarification, his wife got pregnant. Okay.
Yes. And out here in southeastern Nebraska, shit's dry. It's really dry over here.
Super dry.
We have gotten no snow, no rain, no nothing.
Yeah, we got one snowstorm. That's it.
Yeah, and it snowed like 2 inches.
And then it got hot soon.
It also had 50-mile-an-hour winds, so it just blew all the snow over to Missouri. Yeah. Thanks. You know why Nebraska is so...
Not a big fan of Missouri.
You know why Nebraska is so windy? It's because Colorado sucks and Oklahoma blows. Yeah. So, yeah, because all that, it just blew all the snow right on out of here. So yeah, surprise, Firethorn's even open, but we've reached a point now, where Firethorn has had to close the course to golf carts. So if you take a cart, you have to stay on the path. It's like a serious deal now. And I told this other member, this buddy of mine, I said, hey, look, we just got to stay on the path. The course is just super dry. It's a bad deal. And
Yeah,
I
it's
just
just
left
not
it
good
at
for the
that.
grass.
And that is how we conducted ourselves. We were going through the day. Well, there's a group behind us that had a bit of an attitude. They were upset that we were first off and they weren't. And apparently they were making a stink about it before the round to the club pro. The club pro stood by it. He said, look, guys, you were the second time, so you're all set to go after that group. And everything was cool. But I could tell they had an attitude, which is fine. I'm like, whatever. We're out here having a day, beautiful weather in February of Nebraska. This is incredible. We get to hole 9, and my buddy has a rough hole. And off the tee, he snap hooks it into the woods. So I said, all right, well, just go up there by the woods and take a drop, hit 3. So then he has to do a punch out into the fairway, and now he's going for the green to hopefully, maybe be able to save a bogey. He ends up yanking it left again, and it's long, which is out of bounds again. I'm like, ooh, that's tough. And he was banker too, so I was really pulling for him. And he was trying to find his ball for a while, and I could tell the group behind us was now starting to get really annoyed. So I said, all right, man, just take the loss on this one. Let's swing by the clubhouse on the way to 10 and get a few beers. And that's what we did. That took a little bit longer than I wanted it to. So we get up to 10 and I go to tee off first. And then the group behind us rolls up as I'm putting my tee in the ground. And I'm like, great. Now they're going to be super pissed because we haven't even teed off yet. I'm like, whatever. I just crank one right down the chute. It's like, oh yeah, take that, you old fucks. Like, you couldn't dream of hitting it as far as that. Well, then my buddy goes, and guess what? Oh, snap hooky out of bounds again, left. I'm like, oof, we're in a bad stretch here. So then I'm telling him, I'm like, hey, look, we got to pick up the pace because last hole kind of took a little longer than that. Mind you, we aren't behind pace. But we're still playing faster than what pace of play for Firethorn is. We're just not playing as fast as these old fucks want us to play. I don't know if they're trying to get to the early bird special at the local IHOP, or I don't know what they're trying to do.
Yeah, 3:30 dinner.
Yeah, I mean, they got to get to bed before 6.
Right.
I mean, they got.
I go to bed early, right?
They got 7 peas to take in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say they were eating like peas at dinner. That's like an old person thing to do. Is like have peas and, like, I don't know, mashed potatoes and gravy. Mm-hmm. And go ahead.
So then the other guy in our group, we'll just call him liberal buddy.
Yeah. That's him.
So he goes to tee up, and
who's Blake Beecher? What?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, some guy, he who shall not be named.
Yeah, we won't talk about Blake like that.
So he goes to tee off, and right as he's in his backswing, a couple guys in the other group just start yapping away at how frustrated they are. They're having to sit there and wait. So of course Blake flares his, and he wasn't happy. So now, because to tie it into yours, because the negativity of the group behind us is now starting to bleed into our group. Now I'm starting to get annoyed.
I agree.
Like, this is bullshit, guys. We're out here. We're not playing slow. You guys are just trying to race around the course. We're trying to enjoy the course. So I tell my buddy Spence, I go, just go over there by the bunker and just drop and hit, and let's just, kind of pick it up a little bit. So I'm over with Blake, and we're lining up his shot because
Spence took it literal, like drive over there.
Yeah. So Spence took his cart. I didn't see this because I'm over with Blake trying to help him with his shot. I didn't see Spence drive over through the rough over by the trap, and he drops and hits, and then he drives right back to the path. So then Blake hits, then I go out and hit, and then we're going up to the green, and the club pro comes racing out, and he goes, "Hey guys, we really need to stay on the path." I'm like, "What? We're on the path." And so I go walking up to the green, and Blake is talking to him, and he's like, "Look, the situation is Spence just drove off the path because we're just trying to pick it up to get out of these guys' way. The last hole took us longer than it should have, and so we're just trying to speed it up. That was the first and only time it's happened." And the pro goes, and I barely hear this because I'm almost to the green, and he goes, "Yeah, but they called in." And I turn around, I said, "Wait, what?" He goes, "Yeah, they called in." And guys, look, I don't care. I really don't. But when somebody calls in, we're expected to do something. So that's why I'm here. I'm just giving you the spiel of just stay on the path. I don't care what the hell happens. I said, "Okay, thanks. Appreciate it. I'll get it handled." And he's like, "Okay, thanks, Slaw." And
those old guys turned into Googe.
And he turns around and he goes driving off. And Blake looks at me and he goes, "Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean you'll get it handled?" I said, "Well, let's just go finish the hole." And we finish the hole and walking back to the cart. Spence gets in his and he starts driving to 11 box, and I don't follow him. Then I come ripping right back down 10, hang a righty right into the middle of the fairway. And these guys are in the fairway lining up their shots because we just left the green. And I'm full steam ahead in this little electric cart.
You just didn't have a helmet in your hand.
Right down the center. And I stop like five feet in front of their ball. And the whole time Blake's like, "Slaw, what are you doing? What do you do? What are you going to do? What are you going to say?" I'm like, Blake, chill out. I have no idea what I'm going to say. I have no idea. But something needs to be done here.
Like, and chill out. Hey, I'm going to handle this. I have no clue what's going to happen.
I have no idea what I'm going to do. But
it always works, though.
Whatever I'm going to do, I'm getting out of the cart. That's what's happening. So I pull up right in front of their ball, and they're like, whoa.
What are the ages of these guys quickly? So
I'd say two of them are probably in their 40s, and then another guy's in his 60s. And so I pull up, and I'm right in the center of the fairway, and just slam on the brakes. And I stand up, and I get right in their faces, point a finger right in their face. I said, "All right, motherfuckers, if you have a fucking problem, you come see me. You don't be a little fucking bitch and call in." And they just proceeded to not even hit their shots. They just turned around and started walking away back to their carts. It's like, yeah, okay, that's what I thought. And I got in the cart, and then I go driving off. And Blake goes, "That was awesome." I said, "Let me tell you something, Blake. There's not enough confrontation in this world. People walk around like they can say and do whatever the fuck they want. And yeah, I can't go up and punch them in the face. I can't, because then I go to jail. But I can verbally do that. I can let my words go punch them in the mouth. And then next time they feel like being a fucking douchebag, they're going to think twice. They're going to go, maybe there's a big individual that can get upset in that group ahead of us. And yeah, I could be a fucking douche and call in, but then there may be a bigger issue. So I'm going to choose to not." And I shared the story with my wife when I got home. She wasn't thrilled. And I had the discussion with her. I said, "Babe, this is the situation. I'm choosing to take a situation. Let's get uncomfortable for a couple minutes. But then I'm making the world a better place."
I was going to say, in the long run, you're helping those guys.
I'm helping. That's all I do. And I told her, I said, so to share another story, right after I joined Firethorn, it was.
Yeah, I was just going to say, please go into that other story. I was not
back
going to let you in this without it.
It was in the spring of 2020 when I joined Firethorn, and it was like a week after I joined. I'm on the 14th green. A lot of our listeners probably aren't members of Firethorn. I know there's one or two. So on 14th green, everybody knows it's a very long, narrow green. I mean, the green's super long. And they had the pin back
It's like
on this
30,
day.
it's like 30 yards
Yeah.
long.
So the pin was all the way back, and I'm on the green putting. And behind me, the group behind us was kind of pressing us all day.
Were they old?
They were old.
Yep.
And in that round, I was playing slow. We were all playing really slow. We were not keeping pace, but I didn't care. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
And as I'm lining up my putt, I hear a thud of a golf ball. Like it's a very distinct sound when a golf ball hits a green, as opposed to like when it hits the fairway. So I could tell as I'm lining up my putt facing away from the fairway that somebody just hit a ball on the green. And I turned around and looked really quick and saw somebody had just thrown their ball to the front of the green. Mind you, I'm not in any danger here. I mean, the ball's like 30 yards away from me.
30 yards from you. You're not in danger at all.
Like, it wasn't even close. So then I go back to lining up my putt and I'm thinking about it. I'm going, yeah, I know I'm not in danger, but it's still wrong. It's not what you're supposed to do. I'm like, okay, shake it off. Here we go. Let's get in this putt. And I'm still, I can't shake it. I'm like, God, if I let this go, then I'm contributing to this problem.
Yeah, you are.
I'm becoming part of the problem. I said, I can't do that. So I drop my putter. I take the
fight every time.
Take the 30-yard walk. I go pick up the ball. I raise it in the air and I show the guy, hey, got your ball, motherfucker. Launch it in the road. And I turned back and said, hey, fuck you. And that guy came driving up and I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm going to fight an old fuck. Let's go. And he came up and he's like, dude, I am so sorry. Like, that wasn't supposed to happen. I caught a flyer. You know, I wasn't even going for the green. My plan was to like lay it up in like this landing area in front. And it was just one of those shots, like you just flush it perfectly on a flyer lie, and it went like 20 yards more than I thought it was going to. I'm like, look, I get it, man, but we're up here putting, and that can be an issue. He goes, yeah, I get it. It'll never happen again. So I appreciate it. Because, and like I told my wife, I said, if I'm out here with my kids and somebody catches a flyer,
air quotes flyer, for anyone listening on the not watching YouTube.
Yeah, they catch a flyer and one of my kids gets hit. Well, guess what's happening now? They're catching a flight to the hospital and I'm going to prison. So I told her, I said, look, yeah, it's uncomfortable for you. It's uncomfortable for me. I don't like doing this. It isn't fun for me. I don't go around in life like, where's the next fucking fight? Let's go.
Right.
Let's go.
It's not like you're looking to Coach Howard everyone.
No. But what I'm trying to do is I make a situation uncomfortable for a minute to save the world from very uncomfortable situations later. I'm just making the world a better place.
And by you doing it, you're saving yourself from going to prison.
I might be saving my kid's life.
Right? Because if you're gone,
and saving somebody else's life also. I'm saving multiple lives right now.
You're kind of like, you're protecting people by doing this.
Because guess what? That dude that caught the flyer, he ain't never catching a flyer again.
No, and he's still alive.
He's never doing it. Every time he's in that situation now. And if you golf, you know that situation. You are behind a group and you're going, man, they are playing slow. This is frustrating. But if somebody's on the green and you think that they're somewhere in your range, possibly in your range, you go, I'm not doing it. I'm not, because I'm not killing somebody today.
Yeah. You're saving lives. People don't get it.
Has never taken that shot again.
We can go into positivity. That guy's a negative Nelly right there.
Mm-hmm.
You were confident enough in who you were.
From Tuesday, who called in, her point was, yeah, but a guy like that, and even the pro said, he said the club has a lot of problems with this guy. He sits in his living room with binoculars and he watches people on the course, and the second they do something wrong, he calls in.
That's a tough life.
She goes, a guy like that, he's not going to change. So you doing that isn't going to change him. Said, maybe not. But if I don't try, then he's absolutely never going to change. And also those other guys he's with that are other members there, maybe they're not like him. And maybe they'll go, oh, fuck, we're never calling in again. Never doing that.
Think about this. Reggie, the guy with the binoculars. If you think about it, you're potentially saving his life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's actually very admirable what you're doing, because you're super selfless.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's what I was going for. But the whole point of the discussion with that group was, what I said to them was aggressive because I wanted to get the point across, but I didn't say
because you love them so much.
Right. But I didn't say anything that was threatening to them. I didn't threaten their lives at all. What I did was like say, hey, our fucking world sucks right now because nobody talks to each other. So if you have an issue, come and talk to me. I just said it a little bit differently than that. And we can work through this. And because if he would have come up and said, guys, we're supposed to be staying on the cart path, I would have said, oh crap, my bad. I know that guy doesn't, because he hasn't played here in 5 months. So yeah, I'm sorry. I'll make sure he stays on the path the rest of the time. Boom, done, easy peasy. But now he escalated the situation by doing a child move. So now I had to go be a parent. So I went and parented something.
You just had to go parent a 60-year-old.
Yeah. So hopefully next time in that situation, he can come up and say, guys, you guys are playing slow. We are in a hurry. Is it okay if we play through? Sure.
Reggie can come up and say, hey, Dad, could we play through?
Yeah.
It's a little slow. Hey, I want to interrupt because I really want to hear what Scott thinks of this, because to me, this is whatever, right? I was around you. I was around other people like you. Scott, what in the actual world, like people in the actual world, what on earth would be your feeling if some mountain of a human came back and did that?
Well, I don't think Scott would ever be in that situation.
No, Scott never would.
I'm going to be a human being and go have a discussion with these people.
I know, but Scott wasn't around like people like us on the daily. What would your scare level be?
Pretty bad. I mean, there's no doubt.
I could tell these guys were pretty bad also.
Can you think of that? Like in my head,
I wouldn't know what to do.
I think it's
like I'd see a guy come. I mean, obviously you have the shot of your life, right? If the guy's telling the truth, he's got the shot of his life, right on. And then all of a sudden he sees this guy come flying down the cart. What's this dude doing? Fuck this guy.
Or calling.
And then all of a sudden you see him. Then you see him up close. Then you're like, whatever. What do you need, man? What do you want? Sorry, my bad.
Slaw looks a lot bigger standing up out of the. That's why I love what
it's a lot different in a different. Yeah, when you get close to Matt, it's a big man.
He's like, I drove in the cart, and Blake's like, "What are you gonna do?" And he's like, "I don't know, but I know I'm gonna stand up and get out of the cart." Because when you see that big man of 6'5" ish, we'll just say 6'5", standing there, still a good healthy at least 260, and he is standing out of the
260.
Yeah. But when you're standing out there, there's gotta be a lot of
a lot of life questions go through your mind very fast.
Like what
am I doing?
I have a golf.
What do I do?
Do I run away? Do I go?
I gotta be faster. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And my wife said, she said, why do you go around looking for fights? I said, I don't.
No,
I'm looking for opportunities to teach.
He's a teacher. He's a teacher.
I will say you are right. Like we are I bet a big trend, like since you guys getting out of call it the locker rooms or teams, that you are like blown away how people don't talk about how people don't handle situations. Yeah. I mean,
it's unreal.
That's like the real world, we found out.
Everybody bitches about each other and they don't handle anything with each other.
They don't handle anything. That's a real problem.
Like what they do is they just don't talk about it, or
they don't go away.
Or then you just go talk about it behind their back.
Yeah.
Slau's not going to talk about you behind your back. He's just going to talk to you.
I've had this same situation with family members, with neighbors, with friends. I mean, Woody, you and I have had issues.
Yeah, but we talk about it. That's the difference.
And we talk about it immediately, because you know what happens when you don't talk about it immediately?
Yeah.
It festers and it gets worse.
Right. When it grows, and then you can't stand the person. So like, because let's get sappy, because I actually care about you at that level, I would never let it get to that. Like, I mean, even the people that I don't really care about, I talk about it with, but I'm just saying, like, I don't understand it. That's why relationships are just so many broken relationships, so many broken homes, so many broken marriages. Like, let's just talk about things. Maybe I would probably say in marriages, don't quite do what Slaw did.
Well, yeah, you can use the same general philosophy, just different tone.
Yeah. And don't call him an old F.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Don't call your wife that. And don't ever say she's being a bitch about anything. It's okay to say that to an old fuck, but not to your spouse.
But make the world a better place by just addressing your issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if that guy,
I'm more convinced Juwan Howard's a savage right now.
I think he still needs to be fired from his job.
Oh gosh!
But I think he could definitely be easily hired to other jobs without a problem.
No doubt.
But yeah, I mean, just talk to each other. Nothing would have escalated if the guy just would have driven up and just said, guys, this is the rule. Can you follow the rule? Shit. Yeah. Sorry, man. There you go. Done.
Kids, Mr. Slauson brings up a lot of great examples of how we need to address our lives. Violence isn't the key, but confrontation usually is.
If we had a lot more confrontation in this world, it'd be a lot better place.
Listen to that, kids.